Okay, today I'm going to replace the outer tie rod end on my 2009 Nissan Titan. The replacement part is right there, and I'm just going to take the wheel off to begin with. Got it lifted and on the jack stand. Take this wheel off and we'll get started. Okay, with the wheel and tire off, now we can access the tie rod end. As you can see, I've already sprayed this with a bunch of WD-40. I live in a state with a lot of salt on the roads and everything rusts. So hopefully we can get all these things apart here. So what we're gonna do, there's a castle nut with a pin in it right there on the tie rod end on that end there, and that's where the tie rod has gone bad. There's a rubber grease-filled boot on the end there, and it has gone bad and split. And this one doesn't have a grease zerk on it. And then first thing we need to do is this lock nut here, which locks it in place on the tie rod. We've got to break that lock nut loose, just enough to break it loose, and then we'll take the castle nut off and then pop the tie rod down and out and unscrew it from the tie rod end. Hopefully it all goes smoothly. Now in order to get the lock nut loose, I'm gonna hold on to the tie rod end with a pair of vice grips so that it doesn't rotate, and then we're gonna break that loose. And if I'm correct, I believe it goes clockwise because it's a reverse thread. For it to break loose, we want to go clockwise so it goes up the tie rod end to break it loose. All right. Sorry, four-wheeler driving by. It took a lot of work. This thing is so rusted. I finally got the lock nut to break free, and then I could not get the pin out of there. It took me forever. I ended up just kind of breaking it apart and then using a punch, like a nail punch, to punch the pin through just so I could get the nut off. And then I just tapped the end of that bolt with a hammer up in here, and it just popped it right out. And then, so now what we'll do is the end of this tie rod just unscrews off of here, just like that. And then we'll screw the new one on. Okay, I was just gonna show you guys, I got the old one off. Here is the new one and the old one. The new one looks a little beefier, which is good. The nice thing is that it comes with another castle nut and a pin, luckily, since I had to destroy the old one. Difference with this one too, which I read online that you can get different ones. So this one doesn't have any grease zerks, so that you can put more grease into it. But the new one that I got actually does have a grease zerk, so you can add grease to it. So we'll get this one put on and get everything buttoned up. Okay, so the new one is on. So you turn it until it snugs up to the lock nut, and so it will still go up into the arm here. And then once you've got it in here, tighten down your castle nut, throw your pin in, and then tighten your lock nut back down, that like quarter of a turn that's left. And that is it. New tie rod end is in. I'm gonna throw some grease in it and throw my wheel back on.